With the computer body.
Hello everyone, hope all are doing well. So yesterday we were discussing about the hormones and the definition. They are nothing but the regulatory bodies which are secreted into the bloodstream to control the metabolic as well as the biological activities. And these hormones are secreted by a system or a number of many glands referred as endocrine glands. And even we discussed about how exactly the system is placed in our body. So this is the picture which shows the location of major endocrine glands in our body, and these are the hormones that are released by individual endocrine glands. And even we discussed the classification of hormones. We know that the hormones are classified into three main subdivisions depending on the chemical structure. The first one is lipid-derived hormone, second amino acid-derived, and the third is the peptide hormone. Coming to the first subgroup, that is the lipid hormones, as name indicates, these hormones are derived from lipid, that is cholesterol. These hormones are also referred as steroid hormones. And the examples we have progesterone or the female sex hormone, the testosterone or the male sex hormone. And these are the individual structure of the female sex hormone as well as the male sex hormone. Please do practice. Coming to the functions of progesterone, that is the female sex hormone, it has got many functions. One, the effect on fallopian tube, second, effect on uterus, third, effect on cervix, fourth, effect on mammary glands, fifth, effect on hypothalamus, and the sixth, thermogenesis. So we shall discuss one by one. The first effect on fallopian tube. So we shall go to the structure of fallopian tube. This is how exactly the structure of the fallopian tube looks. You can see two armed structures which are found on either side of this structure. This is the uterus, and these two arm-like structures are the fallopian tubes, and you can find some egg-like structure which are found attached to this arm-like structure. They are nothing but the ovaries, and this is the cervical region, and this is the vaginal, that is the private part of the women. The first one, secretory activities are increased for nutrition of the fertilized ovum. So the progesterone, it helps in the transportation of eggs which are released from the ovary. The eggs will get transported through this fallopian tube and it will get implanted into this uterus. Uterus is nothing but the place where the eggs get fertilized and they start growing into a child. So again, I'll just explain. Fallopian tube, you have two arm-like structures which are found on either side holding the ovary. Ovary, it's nothing but which produces the eggs. So progesterone, it helps in the transportation of the eggs that are produced by the ovary through the fallopian tube and also helps in the implantation of the eggs in the uterus. Uterus or the womb, the place where the eggs get implanted as well as the fertilization. Second one, effect on uterus, promotes secretory activities of the endometrium to prepare the uterus for the implantation of the fertilized ovum. Before the egg gets fertilized, the uterus need to be prepared, in the sense the inner layer of the uterus need to be nutrition so that it can help in the implantation of the fertilized ovum or the fertilized egg. Next, we have effect on cervix, or the area where the sperms come and attach to the egg. It increases the thickness of the cervical mucosa, inhibiting transport of sperm into uterus. And the next, effect on mammary glands, it increases the secretory function of the breast and it helps in the secretion of milk, that is breast milk, during the pregnancy or the baby birth. Effect on hypothalamus, it inhibits release of one of the hormone, that is luteinizing hormone. And the last we have thermogenesis, it increases body temperature after ovulation. Ovulation is a process of the release of eggs from the ovary. These are some of the functions of the progesterone. If you don't understand the function, please do go through the structure. It will help you to understand the functions in a better way. Then we have testosterone, that is the male sex hormone. It is essential for the growth, form, and function of the male reproductive tract. Second, it governs the formation of sperm and it helps in the entire development of the sperm. Next, it triggers development of male secondary sexual traits, stimulates sexual and aggressive behavior. The last, it is secreted by the limbic cells between the lobes in the testes. So limbic cells, it is a committee of the cells where the testosterone hormone is produced. Coming to the second category of the hormone, we have amino acid derived hormones. These hormones, since they are derived from two amino acids, that is thyroxine as well as the tryptophan, they are referred as amino acid derived hormones. And the examples are, it includes epinephrine and norepinephrine, and these two hormones are released or synthesized by the adrenal glands. Next, we have the next hormone, that is thyroxine, which is produced by the thyroid gland. So, amino acid derived hormones, since they are derived from the amino acids tyrosine and tryptophan, the name indicates. And the examples we have epinephrine and norepinephrine, which are synthesized in the adrenal glands. Then we have thyroxine, which is synthesized or produced by the thyroid gland. And these two are the structures of two amino acids, that is tyrosine and tryptophan. And these are the two hormones that are released. One is epinephrine and the other is thyroxine. Here we are not discussing about the norepinephrine because we don't have that in our syllabus. Please do practice the structure. These are very important in this concept. There are chances that they ask you to give the structure as well as the functions of the hormones. So please be prepared and practice the structure as well as the functions. So we shall discuss the functions of epinephrine. The first function, epinephrine causes constriction in many networks of minute blood vessels but dilates the blood vessels in the skeletal muscles and the liver. Andre, it helps in the easy movement of blood vessels within the skeletal muscles as well as the liver. And the second, it helps in the better functioning of the heart. In the sense, it increases the rate of pumping of blood into the heart as well as the out of the heart, thus helping in the fluent circulation of blood. And in the liver, epinephrine stimulates the breakdown of glycogen. This I'll come. This I'll discuss when I'll be discussing about the peptide hormones, resulting in an increase in glucose levels in the blood. It also acts to increase the level of circulating free fatty acids, which is much important. If the fatty acids get accumulated in one place, it may result in formation of cholesterol and the person may become fat. So it is very important that the fatty acids they keep on circulating throughout the body in order to maintain the cholesterol level of a human body. Next, we have the function of thyroxine. We know that thyroxine is a hormone which is produced in the thyroid gland. This thyroxine is also referred as T4. The common name of thyroxine is T4, which is produced by the thyroid gland. And it is the inactive form, and most of it is converted to an active form called triiodothyronine by organs such as liver and kidneys. Thyroxine or T4, it is an inactive form, and it can be found in another form, that is the active form referred as T3. Thyroid hormones play vital roles in regulating the body's metabolic rate, heart and digestive functions, muscle control, brain development, and maintenance of bones. So, thyroxine plays very important role because it it is maintaining each and every aspect of the entire human body. We come across two such conditions with respect to the concentration of thyroxine. One is hypothyroidism and the other is hypothyroidism. So what happens if a human being or I have too much thyroxine? The release of too much thyroxine in the bloodstream is referred as thyrotoxicosis, and in the general term we refer it as hyperthyroidism. Hyperthyroidism is a condition where, because of the overactivity of the thyroid gland, excess concentration of thyroxine is secreted into the bloodstream. And this excess concentration of thyroxine in the bloodstream results in the formation of goiter. You would have seen some people with a enlarged or a swollen throat. That condition is referred as goiter, which is a swelling of the neck due to enlargement of the thyroid gland. And other symptoms of this hyperthyroidism includes intolerance to heat, weight loss, increased appetite, increased bowel movements, in the sense many times you feel like using washrooms, irregular menstrual cycle in case of women, rapid or irregular heartbeat, palpitations, tiredness, you get irritated every time, that is irritability, tremor, hair thinning or hair loss, and retraction of the eyelids resulting in a staring appearance. These are some of the symptoms of hyperthyroidism, ಅಂದರೆ the excess concentration of thyroxine in the blood stream. And as I told, there is one more condition referred as hypothyroidism. The condition where the blood has lower concentration of the condition where the blood has lower concentration of thyroxine. It is referred as hypothyroidism. It may be caused by autoimmune disease. Autoimmune disease in the sense a lower immunity, poor iodine intake, that is salt intake, or might be caused due to use of certain drugs. Hypothyroidism in adults causes reduced metabolism. It can result in symptoms such as fatigue, intolerance of cold temperatures, low heart rate, weight gain, reduced appetite, poor memory, sometimes even depression, stiffness of the muscles, and reduced fertility. So these are some of the effects of the hypothyroidism. Thyroxine is a hormone produced into the bloodstream by the thyroid gland. It is also referred as T4, and it is the inactive form, and it can be converted into an active form called triiodothyronine, which we call it as T3. Thyroid hormones are very much important. There are two conditions referred as hypothyroidism and hyperthyroidism. Hyperthyroidism is a condition where the concentration of the thyroxine in the bloodstream is too high, and it results in the formation of a goiter. And hypothyroidism is a condition where the concentration of thyroxine in the bloodstream is too low, and it results in the reduction of metabolic activities and some other symptoms as mentioned in this slide. Next, we'll go with the last classification of hormones, that is peptide hormone as well as the polypeptide hormone. So to start with, we shall discuss the peptide hormones. Under peptide hormones, we have oxytocin as well as vasopressin. Oxytocin, it's a hormone which is released by the pituitary gland, and it is most important for women. This hormone causes uterine contractions during labor, that is during the delivery of a baby, and it helps shrink the uterus after delivery. In the sense, it helps uterus to gain its original size. Okay, when an infant suckles at his or her mother's breast, the stimulation causes a release of oxytocin, which in turn orders the body to let down milk for the baby to drink. On the other hand, oxytocin helps in the release of milk during the breastfeeding. Oxytocin also promotes mother-child bonding. So generally, oxytocin is much important for women, and it helps during the pregnancy of women. Next we have vasopressin, which is also referred as ADH hormone. It helps in maintaining the concentration of salts within the body as well as the concentration of glucose in the serum. Hope you know what is serum. Serum is a liquid in which the blood cells are transported, and it also helps in maintaining the volume of water in the extracellular fluid. In the sense, it helps in maintaining the concentration of fluid within the cell as well as the exterior of the cell. So under peptide hormone, we have oxytocin and vasopressin. Oxytocin, it is released by pituitary gland, and it is much important for women, especially those women who are pregnant, because it is much helpful during the labor of the baby and during the breastfeeding. And vasopressin, it helps in maintaining the concentration of salts as well as maintaining the concentration of glucose in the serum. It also helps in maintaining the volume of water within the cell as well as the exterior of the cell. This is a structure of oxytocin as well as the vasopressin. Here you can see the amino acids. Both oxytocin as well as vasopressin are made of 9 amino acids, which are linked to amine group at the terminal ends. And in both the cases, the first amino acid as well as the sixth amino acid are held by disulfide bond. Please practice the structure of oxytocin as well as vasopressin. Can you guess what the structure looks like? It's written here. It is pancreatic islets, types of cells found in the pancreas. Yes, obviously, I'm going to discuss about the two important hormones, insulin and glucagon, that are produced by a group of cells referred as Langerhans cells, which are found in the pancreas. So this normal islet, it's nothing but the Langerhans islet, and this is nothing but the accumulation of beta cells, alpha cells, delta cells, as well as some normal blood vessels. The beta cells that are found in this Langerhans islet are responsible for the secretion of insulin, and the alpha cells are responsible for the secretion of glucagon. Then we have normal blood vessels. So coming to insulin, insulin is a hormone secreted by pancreas that allows your body to use sugar, glucose from carbohydrates in the food that you eat for energy or to store glucose for future use. Insulin helps keeps your blood sugar level from getting too high, that is hyperglycemic conditions, or too low, that is hypoglycemia conditions. So generally, insulin is a hormone which is secreted by the beta cells of the pancreas during the condition where the blood sugar levels are too high. We know that the cells in our body do require sugar for energy. After food consumption, when blood sugar level rises, cells in the pancreas, that is your beta cells, they secrete insulin. Insulin in turn, it signals other fatty cells to absorb blood glucose. If the blood glucose level is too high, insulin helps this excess sugar to be stored in liver, and this excess sugar that is stored in the liver will be released in the future conditions. Therefore, as blood sugar levels rise, the pancreas secretes more insulin. So, the beta cells that are present in the pancreas. They are helpful in secreting the insulin, and this insulin is secreted into the bloodstream when the blood glucose level in the bloodstream is too high. In order to bring the blood glucose level to a normal range, the insulin signals the other cells, other fatty cells to absorb the excess blood glucose. If the blood glucose level is too high, then the insulin signals the liver to store this sugar, and this sugar that is stored in the liver will be released whenever required. Therefore, blood sugar levels as blood sugar levels rise, the pancreas secretes more insulin. Therefore, the function of insulin is that it helps in maintaining the normal blood glucose level in the bloodstream. Here, hyperglycemia is a condition where the blood glucose level is too high in the blood, and hypoglycemia is a condition where the blood glucose level is too low in the blood. Both the conditions are fatal to a human being, so it's necessary that insulin is produced and the blood sugar level is maintained at a normal range. Coming to glucagon, again it's peptide hormone which is produced by alpha cells of the pancreas. Don't get confused. Both the hormones, that is insulin as well as the glucagon, though they are produced by same organ, that is pancreas, their functions are different in nature. Insulin produced by the beta cells, it helps in lowering the higher blood glucose level in the blood. The glucagon hormone released by the alpha cells, it helps in improving the blood glucose level when the blood glucose level is too low. So insulin as well as glucagon, though they are released by the same organ system, their functions are diversified. Glucagon, it works to raise the concentration of glucose and fatty acids in the bloodstream and is considered to be the main catabolic hormone of the body. It is also used as a medication to treat a number of health conditions, which we'll not be discussing since it's not a part of your syllabus. To make this thing very clear, let us have this diagram. Okay, so here we can see the high blood glucose level. So whenever the glucose level in the bloodstream increases, the pancreas signals the beta cells. And these beta cells, after receiving signal from the pancreas, they release insulin. And insulin thus released by the pancreas, it will give signal to the fatty cells and other cells to take up the extra glucose from the blood, and in turn making sure that the normal blood glucose level is maintained. So this is the functioning of the insulin. And this part you have low blood glucose level. So the pancreas, after receiving a signal that the blood glucose level is too low, it gives signal to alpha cells, which in turn release glucagon. And what this glucagon does, this glucagon, it helps in the release of the sugar that was stored in the liver. And once this sugar gets released into the bloodstream, again the normal blood glucose level is maintained. And the last concept of this unit, that is homeostasis. Homeostasis is a condition where the blood glucose levels are maintained, might be because of insulin or might be because of glucagon. So let us go with stimulus 1. So after eating some sweet foodstuff, obviously the blood glucose level rises. So the beta cells in the pancreas release insulin into the blood. The insulin thus produced. If the blood glucose level is okay, then those sugars will be absorbed by the body cells. If it is too high, then those extra blood glucose will be taken up by the liver, and this glucose will be stored in liver in the form of glycogen. Please remember this. Insulin, first it signals the body cells to take up the glucose. Even if the sugar level is too high, then the insulin signals the liver to take up the extra glucose from the bloodstream, and this extra glucose is stored in the liver in the form of glycogen. Now the high blood glucose level declines and comes to a normal range, that is 90 milligram per 100 ml. Sorry. And second condition, if you didn't have your breakfast in time or if you're fasting, then obviously the blood glucose level falls. Then the pancreas signals the alpha cells, which in turn release the glucagon. And this glucagon was released by the alpha cells of the pancreas. It goes to liver, it signals the liver, and the liver, by receiving the signal from glucagon, it releases the glycogen, that is nothing but the stored glucose. This liver helps in the breakdown of glycogen, and that glycogen now gets converted to glucose and will be released into the body, thus maintaining the normal blood glucose level. And this entire cycle is referred as homeostasis. Hope I made things clear. Please study well, concentrate well. Take care. Bye. See you in the next video.